Good afternoon, leading women. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Sheila OJ, and today we're having another interesting webinar brought to you by Jobberman Nigeria. We're going to be discussing professional resilience, rising above the norm. And we have a very, very fantastic guest who's going to be here with us today. But before I introduce her, let's talk about Jobberman. Who is Jobberman? So Jobberman is the #1 online recruitment platform in Nigeria with over 2 million candidates, that's job seekers, on our platform, and over 60,000 employers. Our goal is to create job opportunities for young people, placing the right people in the right jobs. Jobberman Youth Engagement is committed to upskilling 5 million young people and placing 3 million of them in dignified work in the next 5 years. So what we do at Jobberman Youth Engagement is that we provide free soft skills training for young people within the ages of 18 to 35 through digital channels and offline events. We just concluded the first cohort of our soft skills training, where we had over 20,000 people who were certified. Now we have a large amount of people, over like 40-something thousand people that are registered for our current cohort. So if you want to register for our soft skills training, please just go to jobberman.com/soft skills, and you can be a part of this, life-changing moment. So today, for the webinar, and we're going to, like I said before, we're going to have a very interesting guest who's going to be talking about our theme for the day. And then after she does her presentations, we're going to have questions. We'll be taking questions from you. So please, while she's doing her presentation, just make sure you type your questions in the comments, in the comment box below. My colleagues are going to be there responding to all your requests and also responding to your questions as well and sending your questions across. So our guest for today. Our guest for today is none other than Bukonla Adebakin. Bukonla Adebakin is the Group Chief Operating Officer for Red for Africa. Bukonla oversees daily operations of the company, talent management, finance, and is responsible for the implementation and effectiveness of all processes, both internal and external. She's also responsible for project development and project implementation of the Future Projects Program, including the acceleratables.ng, the Future Enterprise Support Scheme, which has produced talents in entrepreneurship, technology, and creatives, as well as the Future Volunteers Program, where she coordinates and manages over 500 volunteers spread across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory in Nigeria. Consistently for 5 years, she has managed the internal operations of the Future Awards Africa, overseeing the nominations process, research, production, and media. She's a seasoned administrator with experience in project management, human resources, research, data analysis, and media for enterprise strategy and execution. She also oversees and manages media content and strategy for the Future Project. And finally, she's passionate about women, media, youth empowerment, community relations, education, human development, and enterprise creation. See, with everything that I have said, I am so excited to have Bukonla Adebakin here with us today. And I'm looking forward to everything that she's going to be sharing with us. Hello, Bukonla.
How are you as well?
I'm good. Okay, so just to correct me, there's an N in your name. How do we pronounce it correctly?
Bukonla.
Bukonla. Okay, because I was looking at it and I was like, how do you pronounce the N? Okay. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation, and we look forward to hearing what you have for us today. Please, over to you.
Thank you very much. All right, hello everyone on the live session. as Sheila rightly introduced me, my name is Bukonla. I will be read. I'm hoping that I would be able to share my personal story and do justice to the topics and answer all your questions as regards professional resilience, how you can rise above it. Okay, so I have my presentation in front of me, so I'll just go straight into it. Okay, so my first slide is asking what does it mean to be resilient. Google what resilience means. You will see that there are several definitions of being a resilient person, and I picked about two of the definitions for what stood out the most for me. And the first is the ability to quickly recover from difficult situations. And the second is the psychological strength of managing adversity. And from that, as career women, we would see that for every stage we are in, there will be new challenges, there will be new problems that we have to solve. So the ability to bounce back after every difficult situation is what I would term as being resilient. So my thoughts I put down, in order to rise above, we must expand our learning curve in personal growth and embrace a better way to think and to live. Living in mediocrity makes people only enough to survive, never accepting a challenge or better for themselves. The good news is it's never too late to be a resilient person. So I penned down 5 principles and some other details I think would be beneficial for those who want to be resilient in their career journey. I will start with when I started off in my career journey after the University of Lagos, I wasn't clear on where or what I wanted to do. So I started off working in several organizations. Even though I loved the media, I wanted to work in the media, but I did a lot of things, so I wasn't sure where I would be placed. So the time I got a job at Red for Africa, I remember I already did about 3 or 4 jobs at different companies, ranging from technology to an events planning company, and then also um, an engineering-based company. So by the time I got to Red, I was like, okay, this is good for me. And I started off in Red as an intern. So which means that I would say at every stage, I was able to develop this sort of relentlessness and then resilience to face the challenges and then go through it. So these are some of the things when I was given the topic, I thought about it. I was like, okay, I'll have to apply myself and be hearing a bit of my story here and there as we go on the 5 principles of being a resilient person. Okay, number 1 is anticipate and plan. Okay, at the time when I joined Red, there were not too many media-related organizations that had a lot of print. I remember when Nigeria was in print, we had Y Magazine, we had Nigeria.com, they had Sure was at the time. So they had lots of brands that were using the media as a tool to push whatever they were pushing. So at the point, I had to sit down, I had to plan, I had to set goals and say, okay, what works, what doesn't work. And it's only by setting a plan that you'll be able to stay motivated, get motivated when you put, okay, this is what I want to do, and you see that the way the things are going now, you have to change direction. This is why setting a goal is so important. So even when you sometimes deviate from the plan, the plan you've written down will still be able to bring you back. And one thing I tell people close to me and my colleagues is writing down your plan is very important. If you develop the habit of writing things down, very clear, very smart. I'm sure you've heard about the setting smart goals, specific, time bound, etc. So you are very clear on what you want to do. So as an intern, I'm sure when I started, I was so worried as to how will I get the top of the ladder. And this is about my 2012. Yes, 2012. I was an intern at Red. So I developed a plan. I ensured I wrote it down, even though I wasn't sure. Like I said, if you look at my slide, I put it that, okay, trust your intuition, that all will be well. And when I'm saying it's not saying it as a blind faith. When you say all will be well, all will definitely will be well. So just write it down and follow through to your plan. So that was what I kept doing. I ensured to always write things down. I ensured to always, at every point in time, even when at a point when I felt like I'm going to be an intern forever, I will go back to my plan and remind myself what my goal was and then go back to work. Okay, so I have a quote here from Napoleon Hill that says, a goal is a dream without a deadline. So you don't want to now say, okay, I want to write things down, and then you are not being realistic. So dream as much as you can, but just put everything down and follow through on it. The second principle I would mention, I think the slide is not changing as much as I want it to. So I'm looking at my slide here in front of me too. Okay, the second principle is visioning. You know, when you write things down, you can go back to it. Like I mentioned earlier, it's clear. You can see what you want to do. But when you write things down, you sort of find a way to picture what you really want. And I would say that at a point, even in my plan, even the things I envisioned wasn't as fast as I wanted, wasn't as certain. So I had to like do the double work. Knowing that my background from school was science and technology. I didn't study anything, didn't do theater art, I didn't do anything creative. I wasn't in secular, I was in pure sciences. I did the biology, chemistry, and I was in pure sciences. So the to transition from that part into the media space, project management, all of that was quite difficult for me. So the visioning really helped me to. So what I did at the time was to, sometimes when I see a picture of what I want, I cut it out and then I put it in the middle of my book and I keep looking at it and say, oh, this is what I want. So visioning just helps bring whatever you've written down, your goal setting, just bring it into the picture. So that's what I would say visioning is. And more recently, I see that there are a lot of vision board sessions where you can just cut and paste the things. And I really encourage everybody to do that as well. And I would say, I think in 2015, I already moved from being an intern at the time. I think I was on the associate level, a senior associate level, so a lead. I can't recall now. And one of the challenges I had that year, which was a very defining moment for me, was I was demoted. In 2015, I was demoted at Red. I felt really, really bad. I'm still going to come to that because I touched at some point in terms of communication and all. I just needed to say this. And at the time I was demoted, I went back to my vision and what I wrote. I was like, okay, what's happening? Then there must be something I missed. And when I sat down to really look at it, I was like, oh, okay, I think I messed up here. I think I didn't do this here. So how do I get back on track? How do I re-strategize? And a lot of times as young women, one of the things we usually make mistakes about is when we reach a certain point where we face challenges, we sort of, instead of us looking into the mirror and talking to ourselves, I didn't let this really end, but I had to force myself because that 2015 was really, really bad for me. And the principle is called the mirror effect. You look into the mirror and then and there's no other place where you would apportion blames other than yourself. So I had to look at myself. I was like, okay, what are the things I was doing wrongly? What made my supervisor and even the management team to demote me at the time. I was like, no, 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 no. I need to get to the drawing board. And I would I would still talk about some of the things I did at the time. So visioning is very important. So I had to go back to my vision to say, okay, this was what I was supposed to do at that time. I didn't do it, whether because I was carried away or I was overwhelmed with work or whatever it is, but I did not do some things. So because I've written it down, I sort of like, okay, I was at fault. So I tried not to apportion blame. I just took it on and then ran with my vision again, picked it up where it was, and then ran with it. So for my slide, I wrote that visioning is like imagination. Imagination is a powerful tool to create a better life for yourself. Focus on something you want to achieve and then mentally simulate it over and over in your mind until it plays out. I'll read that again. Focus on something you want to achieve and then mentally simulate it over and over again in your mind as it plays out. In another case, like I said earlier, I usually cut things, I was put it in the middle of my book. I didn't have a board, so I put it on my book. So anytime I flip through the book, I always sit and remind myself, this is what you want to do, you know. Especially as career women, sometimes we can be very overwhelmed with work. We want to like prove ourselves, but when we get things right, we do the trainings we're supposed to do, we pay attention to the things we're supposed to pay attention. I think we'll be able to manage our time to also focus on the things we're supposed to focus on. So I will continue. When we put limits on our beliefs, our thought becomes the subject. People living in mediocrity cannot see themselves as becoming successful. So we also have, we also have to remove the limiting mindset. And I remember at the point we had more male than female, so the competition was very stiff. And you can imagine me competing against how many guys at the time. So it was quite stiff. So it means that I had to up my game every time. So I would continue. So why not break free from the negative mindset? Imagine the possibilities when you start believing yourself and others around you. I put in here a book, very good book. It's not your regular motivational speaking book. It's called You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. And it's a really, really good book. I don't know how to describe it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's not a motivational book. It's a book that will just show you practical steps on how to get out of situation even as a career person. There's one particular book I also read at that time, which is strictly for females. I can't remember the name of the book now, but I'm going to find it. It's somewhere in my house, but I'm going to find it and share. The book was very, very good, talking about how women can face the challenges head on and solve it. So very good book. You're badass. I think there's an online version. If you cannot get the hard copy, wherever you are, you can get the online version. So I'll move to the principle 3, becoming an effective communicator. Okay, I would continue with my story of the 2015 when I was demoted. I realized that as women, we most times are very quiet, as if we don't know what to say. But we're just like, let me just not say anything. Let me just keep quiet. And I want to tell you for a fact, you do not have to keep quiet, especially when you are a career person and you want to grow professionally. You have to be vocal. It's one of the, in fact, I would say for myself, I'm still learning. And at the point I learned late, because most times we just believe as women, the doors will be flung open for us, or we will be given a seat at the table, just like that. But don't forget that you do not want to be given a seat at the table based on being a female. No, that's good enough. You want to be given a seat at the table because you are capable of doing it, because you can compete. I mean, compete at any given level. So it's very important as a career woman, you need to speak up when you're in meetings. If you're given an opportunity to be in meetings, Speak up. Don't go there and just be taking notes and nodding your head. Okay? It's not good for you professionally. You have to go, get prepared, prepare yourself for the meeting. Speak up. Speak up, speak up, speak up. And it was one of the things I noted down that year, that even though I was doing my work, even though I was good at doing my work, it wasn't as if I wasn't. Of course, there were some few things my supervisors mentioned at the time to say, okay, no, Bukonla, you are not doing this well. You're not doing this well. But at the point, the things I was doing well, I was very silent about it. I just felt, my work will speak for me. No, your work is not enough to speak for you. Shout if you have to. Shout if you have to, as a female professional. Speak out, talk about your work. Keep talking about it until it sink into whoever needs to hear it. So you need to be an effective communicator. So what I put on my slide here is effective communication is more than just exchanging information. If your goal is to connect with people, train yourself to instinctively listen to your body language as well as what they are saying. In communicating, you will learn how to explore, develop insight, even frame the situation so you can get the right help you need and make good judgments. So please, as female professionals or young females who are just starting off their career, please open up, speak up. If you need help, ask for help. Doing the job is not enough. You need to speak up, you need to show your face, you need to be available. You need to, when they say, okay, we need someone to do XYZ, if you can't do it, speak up. It's good, yes, people can recommend you, but sometimes sell yourself. Go the extra mile, sell yourself, talk about what you can do. And as women, we can do it a lot. Okay, so my next slide is quote from Tony Robbins. Excuse me. It says the way we communicate with others and with ourselves ultimately determines the quality of our lives, and I agree to that. I'm saying this in particular because I've always been a timid person as well. I've been a shy person as well, and I know what not speaking up, not communicating effectively has cost me. And some people say, "Oh, Buki, your growth into leadership was really fast," and I tell them, "No, it wasn't fast. It wasn't fast." Aside from this, is even one of the demotions. I was demoted twice, and I had to bounce back. Do you understand? So that is part of being resilient and picking up from where you stop, learning from it, and then flying with it. You know. So it's very, 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 very important. And I would also say, before I go to the fourth principle, in addition to the communication, as women, it's very important to join a community or start a community. I will explain why. At the time when and this is just one of the many adversities, I'm just pointing on that 2015 scenario. At the time when I was demoted, as a young woman, I was confused. I was scared, even though I had to go back. I go back to my vision to look at it. But the people I had surrounding me was able to help me. It's very, very important as a female, as a woman, to be in a community. If you cannot join a community, start your own community and bring like-minded minds into the community. The Jobberman Leading Women is an amazing, amazing, amazing community. And I think as women, we shouldn't walk alone. It was out of the groups I was in, I was able to talk to them. Okay, what do you think I need to do? Okay, I know I messed up here. Okay, how do I bounce back? And there are a lot of female-based organizations now helping career women. Okay, I believe that I'm speaking to career women here, and there are no entrepreneurs as well. So I'm speaking to career women. So there are lots of groups you can join that can support you. Just ensure that you are not working alone. People in your space, people in your circle, people that you are looking up to. It is very, very important for you to join a community. Please don't work alone. That's one. The second thing that helped me was have a work buddy. An entrepreneur too. please just apply it as I say it. Have a work body. I remember the work body I had at the time, she wasn't demoted, but we're able to I could just tell, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do this press release. I want to do this. I'm managing this project, etc. And my body was able to help me. So again, it's necessary to have a body within your organization. Your body can be outside, but I'm just recommending that your body should be within the organization so that the person understands the way the company works, the way the, the things that works in the company, the culture of the company. So it's very important. So you can just speak to your body, oh, these are my challenges, these are the things I am facing, etc. And then you can work together to solve it. So aside joining a community, which of course outside of your organization, please ensure to have a work body within or outside. But I would recommend having a work body inside. Okay. The next I noted is to get yourself a mentor. It's very, very key. A mentor will guide you. I remember when I put down things I wanted to do, it was the mentor that was guiding me that, okay, for this, these are the things you need to do, these are the courses you need to take, places you need to go, these are the events you need to go. It's very, very important. So I'm mentioning these things in the third principle in terms of communication, because if you notice all of these things I'm mentioning, it has to do with effective communication. Because if you don't talk about this to your body, in your community, to your mentor, you are just going to be fighting your battle alone. And you cannot be winking in the dark as a female person. You have to ensure that all your votes are like solidly behind you. It is really, really key. And last but not least is to get a sponsor. Now, the sponsor ideally should be within the organization. What does the sponsor do? The sponsor would help you speak in places where you can get into. Aside you going for meeting, proving yourself, being on a particular project, proving yourself, the sponsor can help you get a feet in the door. The sponsor can speak about you, recommend you, as the case may be. So it's very, very important to get yourself a mentor. So the things, the first three, the things that really helped me in 2015. But the last one was really missing because I didn't have a mentor, whether male, whether female, a sponsor, whether male or female, at the time that would be able to speak for me when I wasn't in the room. So if you can, please get a sponsor. And of course, the sponsor is someone who is ahead of you, preferably someone in the management. So also you will know that even in effective communication, you have to be friendly. As women, you have to be kind. You have to be very, very kind, be able to speak to people. People can approach you, and then, so that's key. So I'll quickly move to principle number 4, which is spend time and money wisely. Okay. Money, I'm sure there are lots of things and a lot of things on social media talking about money, time management, and all. And I remember I saw one, I think recently, that was saying that, oh, as an employee, to be able to become a wealthy person will be very hard. I don't quite agree, because I believe bits here, bits there, you can save up and accumulate the money, and then compound your money. Is in compounding that you can actually say that you are wealthy. So as an employee, you can also have other things you're doing. As an employee, you can think of, okay, what value do I give in my company that I think I can also sell to people and then get paid for my ideas, get paid for my knowledge. We have to think outside of the box. So on my slide here, I put time is priceless. Our life is an allotment of time given here on earth. At the end of the day, we won't say, I wish I had more money. We'll rather say, I wish I had more time. I'm sure a lot of us, sometimes we imagine that can there be more than 24 hours in a day, because the way time flies and all. So it's very, very key for us to be time conscious. And while you are working for your company, is also very important that you work for yourself as well. And then there are a lot of investment opportunities that you can key into. There are even a lot now that you can legitimately do and make money for yourself. So it's not just your salary that's what you're looking at. So it's very key. I encourage all my team members, I encourage my colleagues and friends and mentees to do this as well. It doesn't matter. And even money market funds that you can start at 5,000, and then you keep compounding, So that's really key in terms of managing your time and money. And, once you don't manage your time, the time lost is most likely you cannot regain it, except, God intervenes, because just try as much as possible that you're spending your time, because that's the value you have. Okay, I have another quote here which says, waste your money and your only way out of money, but waste your time and you've lost a part of your life. Please, let's ensure to manage our time very effectively. Okay. The next one, the number 5 principle is procrastination. Before now, right now, as I speak to you, honestly, I'm also managing procrastination. But at the time, I was struggling with procrastination. And I remember when I started with a coach, I remember Jerome Yovi Unikpede, to explain what the issue was on procrastination at the time. I think it was later 2016, 2017, I spoke with him. He was telling me that I have really gotten comfortable. So this is what I usually do then. And I'm given a task. I don't do it. Like, I feel I have this thing in my head. I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. And I don't do it. Then let's say it's a day to submission. They'll now bring out my laptop to start doing it. And I start to work. And every time I do that, and I realize that, well, what I did, I get a thumbs up for it. It's good. It's good. It's good. So I sort of became so relaxed that I'm fast paced. Is this speed? I would do it. And I would do it. And sometimes I used to wonder how I do it. I would do documents, I would do proposals within hours, and I would just submit it. And sometimes I get lucky. But that's not good. I now realized that I was already becoming too comfortable in that space. That now became so bad. I realized that I was not given, even when I do documents or when I write press releases, it wasn't an original piece. I'll pick from here, pick from here, and just merge it. And it was so terrible. Because when I was doing it, after I was demoted, I just said, out like, no. You mean I was doing this? It's really terrible. I'm actually very ashamed that I was doing that. So, and he told me something that was really profound. It was like, Bukonla, you've gotten too comfortable in doing this thing because you feel that, your onions, people will take it, but that's not the way it is. You've gotten too comfortable that your work has become mediocre, and you didn't even realize because you feel that in hours I will get it done, and that translated into every single project I was doing. So it's very important that we develop the mindset of managing the situation as it is, accepting it, and then checking instead of trying to cope. What I was doing was coping. I was coping with it. I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. I was coping with it. And please, we need to stop it. Whatever we need to do, just do it. And since I've started to ensure that if I set it, I already told my body, that's my work body. Remember I told you about the work body. I've told a friend, at least, it's not a body, a work body. I've told my mentor, people I'm accountable to. And I know that if I mess up, sometimes I even tie my salary sometimes. So like I can be held accountable and ensure I get things for my work and then for myself. Okay, so on the slide I put action is what creates results. Putting things off can easily become an habit. Yes, I agree with that. An habit that only creates stress. Sometimes I will procrastinate. The work will be so much Then I now start to be running out of scatter. Let me just do this. At the end of the day, all of the things at the same time will not be done excellently well. So we want to avoid that. One of the best things we can do with our life is to stop procrastination, as I mentioned earlier. When all the dust settles, the most important thing to do is action. You can do all of the planning, everything you want to do, but once you do not apply yourself to getting the work done, then we are setting ourselves to fail. And when we do, that is when we start to rise above the difficulties or adversities that that we have faced. 2015 was so tedious because I started to do more than I will usually do. I did not say, remember the mirror effect I mentioned earlier. I did not say, okay, oh, this person was so wicked to me. This person didn't communicate to me earlier that my documents were bad. This person didn't communicate to me earlier that my work was bad. And I even remember that year, I had to work on a Microsoft project, a Youth Park grant we received that year. And I remember that I put in so much work. I did extra. And everybody was just wondering, okay, this person that was demoted, that was supposed to be really down, blaming people. I just faced my work. I just faced my work because at the point in time, I felt I was angry. I wouldn't. So it's okay to get your emotions out. It is very. I was so angry that nobody told me. Nobody told me my work was so bad. Nobody did this already. But I said, okay, since nobody told me, and I've decided, I've written down my vision. I've seen that I also deviated from my vision. I will just face it head on and give it the best. So I have a quote from Victor. Okay, I'm here. Procrastination is opportunities assassin, and I agree. And I agree. So just to round off, understanding the situation. That's from my notes. I did other things I thought helped me, and has always helped me during my time of adversity. Um, Understanding the situation is really, really key. I'll move to the next slide. Managing the situation instead of coping with it. How can a similar situation solved in the past by your peers and other people? I remember when I talked about your body, your mentor, joining a community. You know, when you go through this as a career person, you can ask questions. Please don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, I paid dearly for it, sincerely. I'm always like, okay, what will this person think? And then it's when I speak up, then I now hear that even my seniors, my peers from other organizations are going through the same thing. So please speak up, ask questions, get the help that you need, everything, because it is from there you can gain strength because you know that, oh, I'm not alone in this. These are things that helped me when I was going through this stress. I remember last year, the Future Awards, a lot of things went wrong. A lot of things. I was like, oh God, what will I do? And last year was the 8th Future Awards I've been managing. I was like, okay, what is all this? What's happening? I did not say, oh, because I've been doing this for a long time. And then I relaxed that it should be fine. I ran Elter Skelter, even though I was I was blamed. I was disciplined, like, oh, this can't happen, etc, etc. I spoke out. Like, I was just like, please, this is happening. This was messed up. The team already had this done. It wasn't supposed to. I wasn't effectively supervising at the time. I didn't see it. But I spoke, and just by speaking, I got the thing solved. So please, let's speak up. Let's talk about it. That's the only way we can gain strength from our past experiences and also from the experiences of other people, how they were able to solve it, etc. And most importantly, then we keep moving. Don't stop. You don't say because you are facing a challenge in your workplace, you stop. Please don't stop. The next is during challenging times, find opportunities. So, like I said, be truthful to yourself. Help yourself. If you need to get help, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Talk about it. If you need the training, go for the training. I remember all my series, I had to pay for training. I had to do a lot of learnings. I attended events. I was on a roll. I was on a roll. I was just like, okay, just take this training. Even in 2017, I had some sort of adversity. I started to do the training over again, and there are always new things to learn. If you need the training, please get it. If you need the training, get it. There's nothing to be ashamed of as a career person. Yeah? Then also, ultimately, how do we respond to challenge? How we respond to challenges is important, and challenges will always come. If I have to tell all of the things I've gone through, from when using Red, my career path or my career goods as Red as a case study, right from when I entered as an intern. As an intern, I was earning less than 20,000 naira, and then I grew up the ladder to becoming the COO. So there will, and for every single stage, there will always be challenges. Like you can't even escape it. So what you do is you take it and use it to build your capacity. And use it to build your capacity. And I will tell you, at the end of 2015, it's so funny because at the end of 2015, during our biannual review, I just went there, I was just like, okay, I've done my best. I got feedback from the brands I work with, got feedback from Microsoft. The feedbacks made me happy. I was like, okay, but I can't relent now, because I'm competing with my peers. I'm competing with guys as well. So, and when my band review came, because I wasn't expecting anything, I just wanted to just do my work. And the anger of, oh, nobody told me my work was bad. I was still very angry. Oh, why nobody communicated? That means I was fly, like I was doing well. When my biannual review came and I was announced that I was moving from an associate, this from, I think, no, I can't remember. I have to check the BAR, to being the deputy chief operating officer. I swear to God, I was confused. I was like, how? So and when I went back to check what are the things I need, and even when preparing for this presentation, I was like, oh, I didn't relax. I faced my challenges head on. Head on. And as women, we need to always do that. We do not want to get too comfortable in our space, because when you get too comfortable, guess what? The people who you've left behind are likely to overtake you. And it is in that you will now have to buckle up. So as women, the competition is stiff, and we cannot be relegated to the back. We want equality, then we must work on it. If we want equality, if we want our female counterparts to be treated the same way we are being treated, we must work for it. We want a situation whereby our makeup artist, oh, I did this training, I did this better. You say, no, I have done it better. So that is really, really key. And then finally, use digital tools available to get the information you need. I know this is not a technology class, but I just had to add that, because as women, we need to grow. It is also very important that whatever sector you are in, try to look for innovative ways to do things. Try to look for innovative ways to help your company. I remember when the pandemic started, and then we're looking at, okay, what do we do? What are the things? And there are lots of things that when I look back, I just like, oh, I was a part of the team that did that. And more recently, the beatingcorona.ng site, I remember when the pandemic started, the lockdown started in March. We had to call an emergency meeting, I met with the team, brainstorming session back and forth. And I'm very happy that for every challenge, we are always creating and innovating an innovative tool, not just for us as a company, for also the people in the public. So it's very important. Don't just sit back and say that, okay, I'm just going to do my best. I was employed to be a project assistant. That is it's no, no, no. You cannot do that. You have to do more. It is very, very important. Put yourself out there. You have to do more. You have to challenge the system. You have to challenge the system as women and face it head on. Yeah. So finally, this is the final one now, and that's my last slide before I take on questions. Think about it. Would you rather flock with the crows or rise above like an eagle? The answer to the question determines whether you're ready to rise above the norm or not. So with that, I would close. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to us flying together very high. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. That was very enlightening. And I'm sure like everyone that's watching, they learned a lot. So there are a few questions that we have, yeah. So we'll see. Like at the moment we have a total of 7 questions. So let's see how we'll go about it. Now, the first question is, as a woman in a male-dominated field, what can you do to stand out? As a male-dominant field, what can you do to stand out?
So the first thing is understand the space you're in. It's very important. And then I would add that you read a sector-relevant article online at least twice a week. Mm-hmm. It's very important because when you go out, you can engage, you can prefer solutions. So it's very important for you to have an understanding of the space. And also, for each sector, there are a lot of developing things, especially as relates to tech. Now, tech is live now. We basically can't without it. So look for technology advancement in your space, and then you can also recommend it to your organization to say, okay, this is what I saw, this is how I think would apply to us. It also helps you put your face out there, even within your organization, to say, okay, oh, Sheila brought this recommendation, I think is good. And sometimes you can even run a very low risk trial on some of the things you've seen. So when I mean low risk, it means that the resources you need may not be so much, and then you or your organization can just take the risk to try it out. There's no harm in trying. So that will also help you ahead of your male counterparts.
Okay. So another question is, as an introvert, what steps can you take to speak up at work? Because I heard you talk about, taking ownership. A lot of us have this thing of, my work will speak for me. I don't need to talk about it. I don't really need to say what I can do. Especially if you're an introvert and you have a problem with being able to speak up, what steps can you take to speak up and to also talk about your work?
Myself as an example, I am an introvert, introvert. So it was very, very difficult. But when I started, I'm being invited to meetings, and I just sit down and be listening. I have things I want to say. I'll just be like, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Please don't do that. So these are things that worked for me, and I think would work for you as well. I mean, the first thing is ensure you get the agenda for the meeting. Do your research. Even if the ideas that you're going to come up with are the same ideas whoever is in the room will come up with, say it. The third thing is rehearse. Yeah. Okay. Remember, even in the bus sometimes, in my early stage when I was trying to practice speaking up, communicating effectively, I would write it down. I write a lot. I will write it down, and I start to rehearse. I'll rehearse in the bus. When I'm walking, I'll rehearse. And even when I do something, I was like, no. it will position me as a thought leader. Let me do it this way. So I keep rehearsing, and then I even rehearse body posture as well. You sit up, don't slouch. You sit up, and then you say it like you mean it. Like it's not you're not guessing. So do your research, write things down, rehearse, especially, and I'm sure once you do research, you will see some things that were not even part of the agenda. And then you know, I think I need to add this because I saw this while I was reading yesterday night, and it just makes you feel like, this girl came prepared. So those are things you can do. Yeah.
Okay, network issues. I got disconnected.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No
So it says,
problem.
so another question says, how can you push through when surrounded by negativity?
And you will always get that. I remember, I think, I can't remember what year. In fact, my direct supervisor, who is female, was the one that was actually on my matter at
Oh,
some
wow.
point. Yes, and I remember there was a particular fair. I remember it was a partnership with Jobberman at the time.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, a job fair. And he told me, no, your work is bad. I cannot, so much negativity. And then she was also influencing other people to say things. And then she
Wow.
was even like, you know what, we are going to recruit some 4-year-old and you'll be part of the panel. I said, okay. And I remember we sat down recruiting people, and I think she was like, you can't get good people to feel this. And I was like, okay, don't worry, ma, we'll keep searching. See, one of the things that really helped me is no matter how negative, how toxic the environment is, you need to remain positive. Remember the point where I mentioned the first slide when I mentioned about writing goals. It's not blind faith when you write things down. It's not like you are the same should have faith, let's have faith. No. You are meaning what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I ensured I was positive throughout. And with the right people, if you're surrounded by the right people, you will definitely scale through it. You don't want to be in a negative space, toxic space, and then you are also contributing to negative. That is serious bounds. It's just you're just going to be in loggerheads, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So, in spite of whatever it is, you just continue to maintain a positive attitude at all times. No gossiping. To do no, just maintain a positive attitude is really, really key. As simple as it may sound, it can be very difficult, but you have to ensure that you are maintaining a positive attitude every single time.
Okay, so maintaining a positive attitude every single time. Okay, so we just have time for one more question. And it says,
Okay.
you talked about having mentors. What can you do when the people you choose as mentors tell you they can't be your mentor?
I think first is you have to be open and have at least 2 to 3 choices. Because
Yeah.
don't forget, your mentors are also very busy people. So you have to be open enough and then choose. Don't stick with one person and say, if this person doesn't mentor me, it's all over. Though a lot of amazing young, older men that can help you. And you will even be surprised that even the people you didn't really think of
Yeah.
can actually help you. So please keep an open mind. Drop a list between 1 to 3 I usually recommend 3. So when one says, oh, I'm busy, I can't do it, you can move to the next person. So, and then you can have different mentors for different things.
Yeah.
So you can have a mentor mentor you for maybe your career path. You can have a mentor that will mentor you on how can I move jobs, you know. So you can have mentors that can mentor you for different things. So it's really key. Another thing is, if you're particular about that mentor, one of the things that have worked for me is shadow mentoring. The person doesn't know that you are my mentor in the spirit. You know where the person is, you know what the person is doing, and you are keeping track and just following through. And it's actually amazing because I've seen who it has worked for me as well. And when you track what the person has done, even when you now go back after years to meet the person that, Ma, you did X, this is when, how, and you listen, people will be more interested to have you as a body, not even a mentor.
Yeah.
So you can also do shadow mentoring. And I think there are lots of examples out there. People who are positively changing things, who are legitimately changing things, then you can look out.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Bukonla. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. I am so sorry, guys, that we're not able to take all the questions that you asked, but you know, I know the questions are still in the comment section. So please, Bukonla, if you can, feel free to answer the questions in the comment section.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you know we can and then everybody can get their answers. I think there are about 3 or 4 more questions, but because we've run out of time, we have to we have to move along. But thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We hope to see more of you, and I'm glad that you've done something with Jobberman before, so maybe we can do something again. I hope we can. I hope we can. So moving on to job announcements, Jobberman announcements and opportunities that we have with Jobberman. First things first, if you're not signed up on the Jobberman platform, please, what are you doing? Why are you delaying? Go right now, jobberman.com/sign up, and then sign up either as a candidate if you're looking for a job, or if you're an employer who's looking to hire people, you know we're the people for you for that. So sign up on the Jobberman platform. For job opportunities, here are current direct job vacancies we have from Jobberman Youth Engagement. We have Pro10 International. We have about 350 full-time vacancies for Pro10 International. Then there's Novatia Translations Limited. They're looking for different language translators, both local and international languages. And that's about 550 remote work vacancies, which means you can work from your house, which is fantastic. There is the 7th group. They're looking for roles for NYSC core members to be filled, and it's core members that are posted in Lagos. Then we have City Tutors. They're looking for international exam private tutors. We have Pocket Farm, looking for 2 interns in Abuja. We have Verify Me Nigeria, looking for 15,000 verification agents. At the moment, over 3,000 have been placed with Verify Me. So if you're looking for a job as a verification agent, please apply for the Verify Me role. We have Cornerstone Insurance. They're looking for 10,000 virtual agents nationwide. That's not all. We also have Educare Limited. They're looking for an IELTS tutor. And we have SabaWorks Integrated Services, looking for 36 agents. Then D-Class Services, looking for an account and project planner in Lagos. Then there's Recben Vineyards Limited, looking for 50 BAs and sales associates in Lagos. Then YD Agency, looking for a communications manager. And City Tutors, again, they're looking for 750 online tutors. Also, we have the largest virtual career fair coming up, and that's going to be on the 16th of September 2020. So you have over a month to prepare. And this is an opportunity for employers to hire from the pool of job seekers who have gone through the Jobberman soft skills training. If you've not gone through the Jobberman soft skills training, now is the time for you to do that. So jobberman.com/soft skills. If you're an employer that is looking to be a part of this virtual career fair, please send an email to connect@jobberman.com. That's connect@jobberman.com. Also, we have employer spotlights. For our employer spotlights, we plan to have some of our employer partners join us live on our forthcoming webinars in the coming weeks. So please feel free to mark your calendars when we have these employer spotlights, and then you get to ask different employers all these questions that you want to ask about their organizations. Also, we have the Unity in Adversity. Basically, it's a 3-month basic free listing for all employers to post jobs for free. I'm going to repeat that. Post jobs for free on the Jobberman website. Finally, but not the least, feel free to talk to us on the youth engagement site, which is jobberman.com/youth engagement. You can also email us, connect@jobberman.com. You can also add us on LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn, and you can follow us on Twitter, jobberman.com, and then Instagram, and of course, Facebook, Jobberman Nigeria. Thank you so much, leading women, for joining us today. We're looking forward to having another power-packed session. And once again, I want to thank Bukonla for having the time to come and talk about professional resilience today with us. Do have a fantastic weekend, women, and we will keep in touch with you in the comment section. All right, take care. Bye-bye.